Thank you, Senator. Senator Heinrich.
Thank you, Chairman. Palau, Micronesia, the Marshall Islands, these are our friends. They are our allies. And while our relationship with the freely associated states has always been important, I would argue it has never been more important than it is today. I want to thank the leadership of the Republic of Palau and the Federated States of Micronesia for their efforts to complete this compact. And I would urge both the Republic of the Marshall Islands and our administration to quickly complete negotiations with respect to the compact as well. It's important to realize we have a very complex relationship with our friends in the Pacific. My father was present in the Marshall Islands when our nation exploded nuclear devices on both Bikini and Eniwetok atolls. Chairman, in my view, that history creates a special responsibility with respect to the Republic of the Marshall Islands and seems to be at the core of why we don't have complete agreement with respect to RMI just yet. But all of our island friends in the Pacific are critical, and time is short, and the need to resolve the terms of the compact has never been greater. I want to thank the chairman for holding this hearing, and I would just urge all of us in the administration, in these freely associated states, and those of us in the Senate to work in good faith to move forward with renewal of this compact expeditiously. Ambassador Yoon, I want to ask you a question, very open-ended question, but the Chinese government is continuously attempting to exert influence in the region, as demonstrated by their recent agreements with the Solomon Islands, with Kiribati. What sort of void is the United States leaving if we don't successfully finalize these agreements and continue robust diplomatic efforts in the Pacific?
We've already seen that quite a bit, even among the compact states. And in fact, about 3 months ago, President Panuelo of FSM wrote an 11-page letter essentially telling his population what this is all about, which is corrupting politicians there, which is bringing in Chinese labor to do their own construction there, as well as, of course, illegal fishing and so on. And so I would really urge everyone to read President Panuelo's piece there. And to me, it brought home, not just on compact states, but throughout Pacific, the challenge that is China.
Yeah, Ambassador, I could not agree more. And I want to follow up on that issue that you raised of illegal fishing with Dr. Mohandas. The administration and Congress needs to be actively engaged with all of the freely associated states and across the Pacific. And lack of engagement on our parts cedes space and influence to the Chinese government at a time when we simply cannot afford to do so. One of the things I'm most concerned about is illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing in the Pacific. It's something that, when I was in the Marshall Islands, was raised repeatedly to me. Sharing defense and intelligence community, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities and information with the freely associated states is imperative in their ability to defend their economy, their sovereignty, and the livelihood of their people. Does the Department of Defense actively share ISR information about illegal fishing near and around the freely associated states with the governments of Micronesia, Palau, and the Marshall Islands? And how are we ensuring that the freely associated states and the U.S. are sharing intelligence and information in an effort to protect their economy? Doctor.
Senator, thank you for the question, and I absolutely agree with you. IUU fishing is an incredibly serious issue in the region. What we see is that China is essentially sending out vast armadas of fishing fleets with associated maritime militia to engage in illegal and unreported fishing on an industrial scale. This depletes fish stocks. This is damaging to the environment, and this harms the livelihoods of communities that are dependent on fishing. So we agree on the seriousness of the issue. I can report that the Department of Defense is very focused on enhancing the maritime domain awareness of our Pacific partners, and in particular the COFA states. The President last year announced the Indo-Pacific Maritime Domain Awareness Initiative, which seeks to collect commercially available satellite data, aggregate it, and provide it to our Pacific partners through a common platform. Critically, a feature of the platform is that it also will illuminate so-called dark shipping. So ships that have turned off their transponders are still picked up by this commercially available satellite data. We are working with our partners in the Quad, Australia, Japan, and India to make this available both in Southeast Asia and the Pacific Islands, and we plan to work this through the Foreign Fisheries Agency.
Chairman, I think this is incredibly important. I would love to get a brief on the status of this effort. I don't think you can understand just how destabilizing it is to lose an entire tuna fishery to illegal fishing. I suspect our senator from Alaska has more context for this, but it's one of those issues that doesn't always hit the radar screen in the continental United States, but is incredibly important for all of our allies in the Pacific, and I think we need to do everything we can to support them.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Murkowski.